Oh shit, what's good guys? Sorry this took a split second. This is the first time I've used a live stream from the app and not from my actual phone. So let me see if this is actually live or not. But welcome to the stream. Good morning guys. I'm just getting ready to smoke. Uh-oh, looks like it's actually working. What?
It's actually working.
Oh, it's working now. Word, that's what's up. Alright, yeah, so the shit from my phone just hasn't been working very well, but now this one is, so that's definitely a good thing. But anyway, what's up, guys? So it looks like mandatory minimums are making a fucking comeback. So, I wanted to address that real quick. Let me spark this little clip. I got a little small piece of a blunt from last night. I literally like just woke up, y'all. And I'm gonna take a dab and shit with you guys real quick. Just see what the fuck I have. I just don't feel like rolling another blunt because I'm lazy. Probably going to bike ride in a minute. That's another thing too. Yo, what's up, Kevlar? I see you, bro. That's another thing for anybody that's watching. Get you a motherfucking bike. You know what I'm saying? Go on bike rides and shit. I don't like running. I started to run a few years ago because I just wanted to kind of get in a little better shape. But it's really bad impact on your knees and you can't go very far and shit. So get a bike. Highly suggest it. Alright, we have business now. So, Ron Paul, if you guys remember the Republican Ron Paul, comes out yesterday and slams Jeff Sessions. Jeff Sessions just recently came out and yo, what's up, Larry? Jeff Sessions just recently came out and basically is trying to reinstitute mandatory minimum sentencing for nonviolent drug offenders. And this is exactly what Eric Holder got rid of, did away with. This is what the Obama administration realized was absolutely asinine. And basically by following the will of the people and doing what the fuck the people and the citizens of the United States wanted to do, he cut back on mandatory minimum sentencing and harsh sentencing altogether for nonviolent drug offenders. Now, I think that any nonviolent offender for any fucking crime, doesn't even have to be drug related, shouldn't be getting harsh sentences. They probably shouldn't even go to prison. I think prison should be reserved for rapists, violent people, murderers, things like that. But who the fuck am I? I'm just some pothead. But I wanted to address this real quick. Do a little wake up bake with you guys. I'm gonna take a dab in a minute, finish out this little clip. All right, here we go. So Ron Paul said in a statement, mandatory minimum sentences have been unfairly and disproportionately incarcerating too many minorities for too long. I see you, Larry. Attorney General Sessions' new policy will accentuate that injustice, and I totally fucking agree. He added, instead we should treat our nation's drug epidemic as a health crisis, and less as a lock them up and throw away the key problem, which once again I totally agree with. After this video post, I'll go ahead and drop this link in the description so you guys can read it too and follow it. But anyway, let me keep this going. I digress. But yes, that's the main thing. What we do in this country is we find drug addicts, okay? These are drug addicts that generally were mistreated as children, that were probably, mentally abused at the very least, physically abused, potentially even sexually abused. These people never get help as children and adolescents, and they move into their teenage years, they start getting in trouble, and then they become adults, and we just lock them up and throw away the key. This problem is the root of this problem starts at childhood, and it is just basically watered throughout the child's adolescence and their teenage years, and then they become adults and they never have these problems fixed. It seems like the only people that ever fix these problems are wealthy people because they have access to psychotherapy and things like that. So, in my opinion, a lot of the problems in this country that we have with adults committing crime start with children that aren't receiving the attention, they're not receiving the direction that they need to from a very fucking young age. But I can go on about this all day, so let me move on with the story a little bit. But I totally agree that we should not be locking people up and throwing away the key. One thing, and this is the last thing I'm saying, we'll move on. I noticed this years and years ago. I was watching like some movie or something with my parents or my mom or one of my parents. I'm pretty sure my parents are already divorced. But they said like, you ever seen a call from the Blase Block Correctional Facility? And I was like, correctional facility? Like, yeah, that's what they call jails, correctional facilities. What corrections are being done in correctional facilities across this nation? What rehabilitation um, services or systems are, what is happening to rehabilitate or to correct these offenders so they can be put back into society as what's the word, contributing members of society? What corrections are actually being done? I am not dabbing, but I am smoking with you, bro. Word, that's what's up, Larry. So yeah, what corrections are being done? I don't see any corrections being done. I see people that are being put in a revolving door system. Okay, they're growing up as kids, like I said, and they're not getting they're not getting the lifestyle that they need. They're not getting the attention that they need. They're not getting the help that they need. Okay, then they move on to teens. They start getting in trouble. They start growing a disdain towards authority and just towards just organized society in a way, because they're not getting the tools that they need. They're not getting the chances that they may feel that other people around them are getting. Then they move on to be adults, and we just want to shun them from society even further, as if they haven't already been shunned from society as an adolescence. And then we want to throw them in fucking jail and lock away the key and just talk shit about them and point at them and say, it's your fucking fault. It's your fault. You are a failure. You're a piece of shit. You did this to yourself. This is what we're doing to people. Like, honestly, man, and I didn't want to get like too... you know, like emotional or into it. But this is some real shit, and this really bothers me, because we're throwing people the fuck away. We're destroying families. We're destroying friendships and shit. Like, one thing that I preach all the time, when you lock somebody up, okay, you're not just locking, for example, your dad gets locked up, okay, because your dad did something. Your dad got caught with some weed on him. That's not just locking your dad up. That's locking you up. That's locking your mother up. That's locking your dad's brother up. That's locking the people at his job up. If your dad's an asset to his job, if he's an indispensable person at his job, and now he's locked up for some bullshit because he had some weed on him because he doesn't want to be an alcoholic, then now that job is suffering. Now the people at that job are suffering because somebody who was a key employee is locked up on some bullshit. Now that man has to pay. That's another thing. I said this, I used to do hip hop, if you guys don't know. And I said that in the song. I can't remember the exact lyrics, but I said something, I said, oh yeah, that's what I said. I was talking about corrections. I said they make you pay for your stay like a hotel. You guys have to pay like $3 a day when you get locked up. When you get out of jail, you owe them for the days that you were in jail. So I said they make you pay for your stay like a hotel. Don't tell me our ways aren't flawed. Oh well. Like, I don't understand why everybody thinks that's okay. First of all, private prisons is a whole nother thing that I've talked about before. And like I said, I'm going to move on to this story because we're 8 minutes in now. But private prisons is a whole nother atrocity that we have in this country. And the fact that we expect people to pay to sit in fucking prison is absolutely insane. But I digress. And now move on. Here we go. So Sessions, so Eric Holder was speaking about it, attorney Eric Holder, who was in the under the Obama administration, who was becoming more lax and trying to do away with mandatory minimums. He commented and he said that Sessions' action was unwise and ill-informed, and that the policy was not tough on crime, but it was dumb on crime, which once again I totally agree with. Awesome, yes, what's up? So I got a Note 5, and I usually just stream from my Note 5, which the Samsung's Note 5 had built-in like options to just stream straight to YouTube. Like, it was something they did with YouTube, so I could just go into my camera app and swipe a filter over, and I could stream to YouTube. And that's how I was doing it for the last year and a half. But now, the last like 2 or 3 times, if you like scroll down the last couple of videos, I have a video that says like test, wake, and bake, because the last like stream or 2 I did before that didn't work. So I just started to stream one day, and it just fucking started working out of nowhere, and I was like, oh shit, this one's actually working, so what's up? And I smoked with you guys and just talked for a minute. But I didn't even want to try that one today because I had a feeling it didn't work. So this one actually went into the YouTube app itself. I clicked on like the upload little thing in the bottom, like I went to upload a video, and it had the option to go live or to upload some video clip I already had on my phone. So I decided to try to go live from this, and it worked instantaneously. And I actually like this format better. Like the one for my phone and updated, and I could like click on comments and see it, which I couldn't before. But now this one just has them pop up on the side, and it's a much cleaner interface. And I don't know, I just like it a lot better. But anyway, getting back to this, Eric Holder basically said that what Jeff Sessions did was absolutely fucking retarded, and I totally agree. He said it wasn't tough on crime; it was dumb on crime. And we move on to see. Yeah, I mean, honestly, yeah, you might be living better in prison than in Section 8, in all honesty, and which is fucking, oh my God, I don't even want to talk about that shit. That is ridiculous. Oh yeah, yeah, oh yeah, I already know. I remember the first time I went to jail when I was 18, okay, for some bullshit. We're not gonna get into that right now, but I didn't do any time. I ended up getting bond, thank God, and I ended up going to jail. I think I got found guilty for that charge. But it was some small shit, and I didn't end up getting any jail time afterwards. But I say all that to say this: when I went into jail and I was sitting down in front of the magistrate, so the way it works in Virginia Beach, I know it's like other big cities and stuff, like you have an arraignment, I don't know, it's different. But the way it works in Virginia Beach, you get locked up, you go straight in, you sit down, you see the magistrate with the cop that arrested you, they explain what happened, and you basically try to be the best version of yourself, and you hope that they fucking give you a bond. I remember the motherfucker telling me that they were gonna give me a bond, but he said, "I will see you again." He looked me right in the face, he said, "You're gonna be back. I'm gonna see you again." And it's crazy because they count on it. They totally fucking count on it, and it's part of the system. And like you just said, once you're in it, you're gonna be back. Once you ever get arrested for anything, here's another thing, okay? A couple years later, I'm gonna go ahead and take this dab. We're just smoking and talking at this point, and I'll get back to this in a second, but I'm just vibing with you guys. Ended up with a friend of mine, and a mutual friend that was a female. She used to date one of my friends who treated her poorly. They treated each other poorly in retrospect, but to not talk too much about it, her and I started talking, and this friend wasn't very happy about that, and he did what he could to place some malicious charges against me that I was arrested for. It was a fucking mess. This is a whole long story. Maybe one day I'll do a story time video on it, but I fucking ended up having to go to jail for this shit, and of course, I got bonded out or whatever, and I was found not guilty for all these things later. I say all that to say this: even now, okay, if I get pulled over now, okay, they're gonna run my shit and they're gonna see that I was arrested for these crimes. Okay, these crimes that look absolutely fucking terrible. They're automatically going to, when they see these crimes that I've been arrested for, they're going to form an opinion of me. They're going to approach my vehicle in a certain manner based on what they see. And when you go to get jobs, like for example, I was gonna work part-time for Uber for a minute, like a year or two ago, because I thought it was cool that you could work your own hours and shit. I thought it would help with YouTube and things like that. But Uber wouldn't hire me because of these charges that I was found not guilty for. I saw more people in drug offenses than anything. Yeah, it's a waste of taxpayer money. It's a waste of time. These people aren't in society. They're not contributing to society. Think about how much better the economy would be if we didn't have all these people locked up. All right, first of all, America has, let me Google this real quick to get the number right. Hold on one second. So America is, I don't know what percentage that is. Well, here's just a couple, okay. Holy shit, India has way more people than this. Holy fuck. Okay, damn, that shit, wow. Okay, so check this out. America has 1/4 of incarcerated people in the world are incarcerated in the United States of America. Okay, so we have 1/4 of the prison population of the planet in the United States. In the land of the free, we incarcerate 1 out of every 4 people in the entire fucking world. Okay? 1 out of every 4 people in the entire world. The United States currently has a population of 321 million. This was in 2015 when the last consensus was done. China has a population of 1.37 billion people. There's over 1 billion people in China. That's over double. Okay, almost triple. In fact, that is That's almost triple, slightly, almost triple, okay, the people that we have. Now let's look at China jail population. You guys can do all this shit yourself. You just get fucking Google, okay? All right, jail population, number of prisoners. Hold on 1 second. World percentage. Let's see if it'll just break down these percentages for me real quick. Yo, what's up, BB? So yeah, we're just smoking right now. Talking about this Jeff Sessions and fucking thing. The Jeff Sessions and Ron Paul talking about what Jeff Sessions dumbass just did. Eric Holder talked about it, but we're also just smoking and I'm talking about some incarceration right now in the United States and nonviolent drug offenders just in general and the incarceration problem that we have. List of countries by incarceration rate. Hold on 1 second. Let's check this out. Okay. Okay. Here we go. Here's some good numbers. All right. So we had China. This is going to be population, incarceration rate of prisoners per 100,000 of the population. So if it's, if the number is 100, then that means 100 out of 100, that means 100 out of every 100,000 people in the population is incarcerated. So these numbers are per 100,000 citizens, okay? Okay, so China, which had over 1 billion people, population of China. It says 118 or unknown, so I guess it's a little off. So the population of China, the incarceration is 118 people out of every 100,000 people in China are incarcerated. So 118 is the number for China. Now let's look at the United States. United States of America. The United States of America is 693, and once again it says see notes below. There are 693 people out of every 100,000 people in the United States incarcerated. Now this list, okay, this number is the highest number I've seen on this list. And the Virgin Islands I see a 542, which is still 150 less, okay? Which is what most of these countries are. So now let's look at some other big countries, okay? Singapore is another high number at 219. That's not even a big country. The United Kingdom, England, and Wales, 146. Northern Ireland, 78 per 100,000 people. Mind you now, United States is 700 per 100,000. Vietnam is 146. Give me some countries, guys. What we think about? France. Let's go to France. France. Drop some comments below. Who do you guys think has a high prison population? Colombia, who I would think has a high prison population, 240, which is a high number on here. But it's not fucking 700. It's nowhere near 700. Chile, 242. The Cayman Islands in the United Kingdom have 369. That's pretty fucking high. Brazil, 307. Bermuda, United Kingdom, 354. Barbados, 350. So we're not even seeing, the highest number we're seeing is not even half. The Bahamas, 363. It's not even half of the incarceration in the United States. The highest number I've just now seen is Barbuda at 403. UK, England. I think I just looked up England. I'll look one more time. Yeah, so I gotta go back down to UK. I think that was the... England and Wales was 146. Scotland, 141. So America, I'm gonna go to the C notes below. United States. Furthermore, United States incarceration rate, in addition, there were 54,148 juveniles in juvenile detention in the year of 2013. That is fucking crazy, yo. That is absolutely crazy. Going back to what Yaz commented a moment ago. And it looks like, goddamn, it looks like juvenile detention in the UFC and the USA, males are incarcerated at a rate that looks to be 7-1. We got 90,000 in 2017. We had 91,000 juvenile males incarcerated, and we had 14,000 females. And then the last consensus was in 2013. We had 46,500 male juveniles incarcerated, and we had almost 8,000 female juveniles across this country incarcerated. Now the percentage of those, 55,000 total. Okay, and this is 2013. There were 55,000 juveniles in this country incarcerated. How many of those do you think actually committed a rape, a burglary, or a murder? Which, as I said earlier in this video, in my opinion, are one of the only few things that we should actually lock someone in a cage like a fucking rabid animal for. Murder, burglary, rape, violent crimes, taking from people, okay, hurting people. I think people should be in a cage for it. So, but my question is, how many of these kids you think, for one, were nonviolent, for two, were drug related? Think about that for a second. Getting back to this fucking article, this Ron Paul shit. God, this shit like actually hurts me. I'm gonna go ahead and get this dab ready real quick, guys. So I am currently smoking on. Let me know what y'all smoking on in the comments, please. This is Witch's Godbud Shatter. I don't know if that's gonna focus for you guys. Let me bring it back here. You're not gonna be able to read it. Witch's Godbud Shatter, and this is 74 on the THC. I lied. Witch's Godbud was the last one. I'm an idiot. Sorry. This one is Durban and Lemon Glue Shatter. On the short bus. This is Durban and Lemon Glue Shatter. And this one is... This is about 75%. No, I lied. 75. Yeah, this is about 81% THC on this. So I'm gonna have this dab ready. But so catching back up where we were now, I know we fucking jump around a lot on this channel. So Holder said Friday that Sessions' actions were unwise, ill-informed, and it was not tough on crime, it was dumb on crime. Criminal justice reform has become a bipartisan issue in the recent years, with conservative Republicans like Senator Paul and Mike Lee of Utah pushing to discard mandatory minimum sentencing because it has damaged the lives of many non-violent offenders because the federal guidelines impose penalties that outsize the crime committed. That's another thing that they've talked about. These penalties outweigh the crime that's committed. They're also just old and just outdated for one, but they're putting people in jail for too long for what the fuck they've done, for one. Also, they, and I think they're going to talk about this in a minute. Oh yeah, here we go, boom. Senator Paul wrote in USA Today in 2013, mandatory minimums most harm those lacking the means to defend themselves. These laws disproportionately target the poor and minorities. So there's two things I want to talk about here. First, we'll go ahead and talk about what Senator Paul said. He said that they are harming the people that lack the means to defend themselves. And what he means by this is people that don't have the money for defense, for legal defenses, right? Now, I think there's a second part to that that is more important, that comes first, but we're going to go ahead and address this first. That is totally fucking right. Most of these people, okay, that are getting a little weed charge or are getting a fucking drug charge or drug addicts in general, are not going to have the legal means to defend themselves in court, which also is something that I feel like needs to be reformed in this country. And I know it may sound funny right now, but I am honestly, a part of me is considering running for fucking office at some point, because there's a lot of things in this country that need to be reformed that just are never even fucking talked about. And this is one of them. And it's absolutely ridiculous how much lawyers are allowed to charge. There needs to be some type of regulations on fucking fees. There needs to be... First of all, one thing that I want to propose, and I'm just going to be very brief on this, is like fines. Like speeding fines are like a set number. Like boom, if you get like a speeding ticket in Virginia, it's like $250 or some shit. Now, if you're making minimum wage, that $250 is like pretty much what you take home a week. That's fucking hurting. Now, if you're Lil Wayne and you come speeding through Virginia in your Bugatti and you get a little ticket, that $250 is what you pay for a little gold paper to roll your weed in. Okay, so it's not fair. So in my opinion, fines should be assessed at a percentage of your annual income. Whether it be fucking 0.5% or 1% or whatever the fuck it is, depending on what you did, whatever the percentage of the fine would be, it should be a percentage of your fucking income so it's fair to everybody. Period. In my opinion, the same fucking thing with lawyers. Cheers. God damn, that shit tastes good. In my opinion, it should be the same thing with lawyers. Now, I know some people are going to say, oh, well, they have public defenders. Yeah, they have public defenders who don't give a fuck, who only get paid if you're found guilty. Because the way they look at it is, if you're found not guilty, you didn't do it, they don't get paid, but they don't give a fuck. Public defenders don't give a fuck. Now, have had an instance in the past where an actual good lawyer, sometimes the lawyers from the city or whatever, they have to be assigned, they have to take certain public defender cases, sometimes they have to help and shit like that. So sometimes you're gonna get a really fucking good lawyer that charges people really good money as a public defender, but he's still not gonna defend you the same way. So first of all, fuck public defenders, okay? You shouldn't be able to charge so much money as a lawyer. It's absolutely ridiculous. I remember having like a misdemeanor weed charge or something, and I think the lawyer wanted like $2,000 to defend me for it. $2,000. Mind you, I was making minimum wage at the time. I was a kid. I was like 18 years old. So public pretender, exactly. Public pretender. They don't give a fuck. I see y'all smoking on some Blue Dream, Super Silver Haze. That's what's up. That's what's up. So they're not even really gonna do anything to defend you. So $2,000, like I was just saying, is way too much fucking money. If you're making like $250, $300 a week, which is what the federal minimum wage is, that's what you're taking home. Federal minimum wage is $7.25 an hour. And there's a lot of people in this country on minimum wage. And generally the people that are going to be affected by these laws and these mandatory minimum sentencings and things like that are people that are poor. Now this is moving on to my second point. This not only affects minorities and people that don't have money, it affects them because this is generally where these cops are. Now think about this. If you are, and first of all, guys, I'm racist in jest all the time among my friends and they know this, but now I'm gonna be racist towards white people because I'm white and hopefully I'll hurt less feelings that way. Say your name's Bobby and your parents own some shit and they got money and you go to a private school and you're 16 and they bought you your fucking little CLK Benz and you now have your little gated house and you have a fucking butler and you're smoking weed up in your fucking little mansion room with your friends, okay? Bobby is not gonna get caught with his weed. Bobby doesn't have to worry about when he leaves and he's got some weed in his pocket in his little Mercedes Benz to go to his friend's neighborhood across town in the hills. He doesn't have to worry about that car potentially breaking down, okay? He doesn't have to worry about a headlight being on in that car that he can't afford to get taken care of. So he's not gonna worry about getting pulled over. More so if Bobby gets pulled over and his CLK Benz that his parents brought for him and all the lights is right and the tires are blown up real nice and it's washed and it's waxed and it look real good. What are the chances the officer's gonna say, hey Bobby, can you step out of the vehicle please? You mind if I search the car? Now, what are the chances that Billy, myself, grows up in a poverty-stricken environment, struggling, making minimum wage, check to check, just got a speeding ticket last week because he was running late to work, $250, that's what he takes home in a week. He's hurting right now. His lights out on his car, he can't afford to get it fixed yet. He's coming home late one night from a late night shift at work. He's got his little bowl on him because he smokes at work because it's stressful. He gets pulled over because his light's out. Officer asks him to step out of the car, pats him down, finds his bowl. Do you see the difference now? Now I also want to ask you, who gets hurt more in that situation if they get that weed charge? Is Bobby's life going to be more negatively affected by getting caught with some weed, or is Billy's life going to be more negatively affected if he gets pulled over and caught with some weed? So I feel like I kind of just went left field on you guys for a minute, and I kind of did, but I just wanted to, I guess, show my perspective on that because I've been feeling this way for a long time, and in my opinion, it's structured this way on purpose. It is created this way. And there's a lot more people that are poor. And honestly, if you are the defense, if you are a police officer, if you are a prosecutor, that's the word I'm looking for. If you're a prosecutor, who do you want to pursue a case against? Bobby or Billy? Who do you think you have a greater chance of getting a guilty conviction against? Bobby or Billy? So in my opinion, from every perspective, from every angle, every way around this, Billy is the better choice, no matter how the fuck you look at it. And Bobby's not going to be affected by this. And even if Bobby were affected by it, he's going to be okay. Bobby's probably going to school, and not a community college, to like an actual motherfucking college, to a university, and his parents probably are paying for it, or has even already paid for it through his schooling. Okay? Billy was coming home from work. He might be trying to go to community college too on the side, but it's a whole different lifestyle. He's probably going to lose his job because he's going to go to jail. Okay, maybe for the weekend. Say it happens on a weekend and he's supposed to work the next day. Now he misses work. Now he gets fired. Bobby don't have to worry about that. So I'm not trying to necessarily draw a bias to one side because it's going to negatively affect anybody. These laws need to go, period. But going off the context of what was just said, and what I was reading, what Senator Paul said, it's very true because it does affect the poor people way worse. And I think it affects them more, in my opinion, the way I said, than a little more than what he was saying. But also, like, then it goes further, they can't really defend themselves. They can't afford a lawyer. And do you even want to? If you actually got pulled over and they found a pipe and some weed in your pocket, they have physical evidence against you. It doesn't really matter how much money you spend on a fucking lawyer because the case is cut and dry. They pulled you over, your light was out, you were speeding, you were erratic lane changing, whatever the fuck the case was. Smelled weed, they asked to pat you down, they found marijuana on you, they physically have it as evidence. What the fuck is the lawyer going to say? He might be able to try to point out some type of loophole, or they might not have read you your rights the right way, or they fucking did some stupid shit like that. But the chances of that are slim to none. If you get caught with some shit on you, you're pretty much fucked. Now, you might want to, if you have all kinds of money, it might be a little better for you to have a super expensive lawyer because you might get a lesser sentence. You might get some type of probation, or you might be able to go to rehab or some shit like that. But once again, you're still going to be affected by this shit. And you're going to have to pay a fuck ton of money to be able to go to rehab. And then you're going to have to pay for some expensive ass rehab and do all this shit rather than get your little 30 days in jail that are probably going to be suspended, or you're going to do half of or whatever and be over and done with it. And that's another reason, and that's another way that they get you that a lot of people don't know. What you want to do? You want to be on probation for a year or 2 years. You want to have to go to drug classes. You want to do all this shit. You want to have to piss in a cup. You want to pay all this money. Or do you want to be just guilty and you get 30 days in jail that are most likely going to be suspended, or like I said, you do half and then it's just over and done with. And then you pay them your $3 a day for your $15 in jail. And then, mind you, if you do the 15 days in jail and the shit's suspended, I think that only lasts for like the year. Anyway, so if you don't get any more trouble for the next year, those other 15 days are just gone. So it is a joke. It's a motherfucking joke. Oh, man. So that's how, in my opinion, that this is all structured. This is how they get you. And this is what the fuck is going on. Paul added, after saying that these laws disproportionately target the poor and minorities, he said, getting rid of mandatory minimums simply means allowing judges to use their discretion in sentencing, rather than having to follow the current draconian federal perimeters that are totally detached from the very human situation at hand. So, a report released, hold on one second. Okay, yeah. He also noted a report released recently by the American Civil Liberties Union revealed that nationally, blacks were 4 times as likely as whites to be arrested for marijuana possession. And he said that this is true despite the fact that marijuana use is about the same for both black and white Americans. So, in my opinion, this goes back once again to the poverty thing. Blacks tend to be more in poverty-stricken neighborhoods and poverty-stricken situations that police like to enforce and things like that. Like growing up, I remember, once my parents split up, we didn't have a lot of money, and we were basically in the hood for a minute, me and my mom, and I had friends, and I would go visit friends in other low-income neighborhoods, and police would actually sit out there. They would actually have a cruiser or two that would just go sit out there for just hours. And like almost every day you would see them fucking with somebody. Like I even had a friend that lived out there that had a suspended license, right? And he was trying to get to work, and the cop pulled him over one day coming home because his light was out or some shit. And he got him in trouble for driving on a suspended license. He had to go to jail, he bonded out, whatever, came home. Like a couple days later, that same cop was sitting out in the neighborhood, saw the truck driving, looked in, saw my friend, knew him, and was just like, oh, I know he's not supposed to be driving. Pulled him over again and hit him with the same charge. And that's because they were sitting out that fucking neighborhood. And my boy was hurting and broke, and he really couldn't afford to pay to get his license back, and he was trying to save up his money and handle all that shit and pay bills and blah, blah, blah. And he just gets hit with another charge. So, like he says, these laws right now are draconian, period. Like, they need to change. And they started to change
under Eric Holder, and now Jeff Sessions is just fucking everything up again. So that's pretty much where that's at, guys. I just realized we're like 35 minutes in, and this just went way too goddamn long, and now I'm high as a bitch. So I'm gonna get out y'all's hair. I'm gonna go make a smoothie. I'm hungry. I appreciate y'all chilling with me. I appreciate y'all stopping by. Thank you for the likes. Thank you for the comments. I'll be back with some more videos. Smoke your problems away. We out.